The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
720, 21 Pilots tickets and a song scramble coming up.
The Q101 Morning Crew. Sports.
All right, let's go. Let's do it. Okay, I know it's against the Rockies, but I don't care. The season started and the Cubs are rolling, baby. All right, here's what happened last night. The Cubs walloped the Rockies 12-2 on a cold, rainy night on the north side. Garrett Cooper was 3 for 4 and a home run. Home runs by Cody Bellinger, Christopher Morel, and Seiya Suzuki. Listen to this shot that just barely made it over the wall.
The 2-0. That is crushed center field. Going back is Doyle. Turning, looking, out of here. Over the basket and gone. Seiya Suzuki, a line drive homer out to center field, and that quickly, it is 2-0. I mean, a bolt out of here to center.
Oh, it was amazing. I got the whole thing started. Here's a little fun stat for you. Suzuki, it was a 115-mile-per-hour boomer, hit harder than any ball by any Cubs player in all of 2023. How about that stat?
115 miles an hour off the bat. That is hard hit, to say the least. That is shocking.
It was a line drive home run. It barely made it over the basket, as they say there. So that came from, I got that stat from a guy, Christopher Kamka's got some good stats on Twitter. Cubs going for 4 in a row and the sweep tonight before the Dodgers come to the north side. Where Case is going to that game alone on Friday.
There's nothing wrong with that either.
We'll talk about that another time.
We'll talk about that tomorrow, I
guess.
guess.
We'll get into it. The White Sox got their first win of the season.
Hey, look at that.
Let's go, Southsiders. So Garrett Crochet pitched a nice one for his first career win. Then Michael Kopech got his first career save as he's going to come out of the bullpen this whole season. So that's cool.
Crochet looked awesome. I was not very confident in taking a guy that started his career in the bullpen and moving him to be a starter. He looked good opening day, only gave up the 1 run. Problem is White Sox didn't score a run that game. He looked awesome last night. Kopech at the back end of the bullpen, it's like having a friend.
Jack of all trades and a master of none?
No, the problem is that I don't think Kopech is either. That's the problem. He's a friend you don't trust who has a lot of responsibility.
Well, listen, you get a guy like that was in rotation and ends up in the bullpen, which, happens to a lot of pitchers. It happened to Kerry Wood for the Cubs years ago. And he did well as a reliever, eventually finding that role where most guys are sitting there in the bullpen that were there once, kind of go, I could do better than that guy. How about putting me in the lineup again? But I don't know. Either way, they got the win. He got his first save. Blackhawks lost to the Islanders 2-1. But more importantly in Blackhawk news, Connor Bedard, number 1 overall pick in 2023, has earned the Rookie of the Month honors for November and December. He also did this. First player to win the award at least 3 times in a season since the 2015-16 season when the Oilers, another Connor McDavid, amazing player, did that. So kind of in the history books there a little bit. He had, 17 points, 4 goals, 13 assists in 14 games.
That's incredible.
He's better than advertised.
I like the fact that whenever Bedard comes up and he's compared to other players, it's Gretzky and it's Connor McDavid and it's the best hockey players to ever exist.
Yeah, I mean, you rarely see that'd be like seeing Michael Jordan come out and say he's better than I was, because Gretzky said that about Bedard.
Yeah.
At this stage of the game, he said he's better than me at that point.
He's the only thing to watch on the Blackhawks.
Well, not quite 100%, because this Saturday, the Blackhawks are offering a unique alternate broadcast of the game against the Stars that will be animated.
Oh.
Now, I got to figure this out. Do we have on YouTube TV, because me and Case have YouTube TV, the NBC Sports Channel Plus?
We do, because I thought it was so interesting, and I don't know if this was a big deal or not, but last night the Blackhawks were on NBC Sports Chicago, and the White Sox were on NBC Sports Chicago Plus, but we have both channels.
How do I get there?
It's next to NBC Sports Chicago.
Okay.
You just keep going.
All right. Because they're going to have a live in-game animation of the game going on. I don't know how they have this technology to convert the live feed into an animated game within seconds. There'll only be a little bit of a delay. I'm watching that. That's at 2:30 on Saturday.
Also, no disrespect to the people that are animating the game, But who asked for this?
I would have if somebody asked me.
What? Who came up with this idea? I was like, you know what? You know what's going to get them? You know what's going to get that coveted 18 to 34 demographic? Let's make hockey younger. Let's animate it.
It's a rough season.
It is.
Let me have this one.
Okay, all right. Let me have this one.
I am here for animated Blackhawks games live while in action.
Interesting.
I love it.
I've never seen anything like this before.
So I don't know if Xfinity or whatever you use, or your YouTube people like me and Case, but NBC Sports Channel Plus, it's right next to the regular NBC Sports Channel, as I said. Didn't notice it. How about this? I talked so much about this. I think I'm the only one, at least on the show, so stoked about Caitlin Clark and what she did at Iowa. I think she should go to the NBA. Forget about the WNBA. That's a graveyard for her. She needs to go to the NBA. I wouldn't go to the big three that Ice Cube's offering her $5 million, but
no,
from
I want
Iowa.
that check to clear.
So that game, Iowa-LSU, on Monday night on ESPN, was the most watched college basketball game, men or women, in the history of ESPN.
That's incredible.
12.3 million people. To make it even, more incredible about what happened with this game, it was more watched than any Stanley Cup game in history.
Really?
Yes. It was more watched than the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup in recent years.
Wow.
Or I'm sorry, the World Series, I meant to say. So the NBA Finals and the World Series, there's some numbers out there. I don't want to just get too in the weeds there, but 12.3 million, that women's college basketball game. Now, Caitlin Clark's going to leave. Angel Reese for LSU is going to stay. I think Caitlin Clark should have stayed one more year. I believe she had one more year of eligibility.
I believe so.
So if she stayed one more year, she's making $3 million a year in NIL money. So she's going to get endorsement deals, but her salary in the WNBA will be like $125,000 a year.
Ugh.
She can keep making money, stay in college, keep that going, and then just one more year doing that.
Yeah, but then she has to take like a math class too. I would want to get out of college.
You think she's going to class?
I think so.
I want to follow her around one day.
I want it. I don't think you want to do that.
Not in a stalker way.
I want to follow her around one day.
Because I heard rumors back in the day with the Fab Five at Michigan that when they went to go take tests, they were like, no, they take the tests over here. And they went to some hall and hung out. I can't. That's a legend. I'm a Michigan fan. I don't care. They won.
Hey, don't besmirch Jalen Rose's name in front of me.
Well, or Chris Webber's.
Yeah, you can besmirch Weber.
Well, he called the timeout when there wasn't a timeout.
I'm more of a Jalen Rose guy myself.
Either way,
I can't think she has to go to class.
I can't think of another way to say it without being creepy. I'm trying to. I just want to know if she's going to class. She seems like a great girl. I'm sure she's doing the great thing. I don't know. Stay in college, girl. Stay there and get that money.
I would. She's got to take like a European histories class in between studying for in between practicing for the Final Four.
What was the easiest class you took at Columbia?
Well, all of them. It was at Columbia. They weren't real classes there.
Jeez. Not one you can think of?
Oh, there is a Chicago film history class where you came in every Friday and watched a movie that took place in Chicago.
I was going to say exactly the same class, but mine was at Bowling Green State University where we went in and it was a really old teacher and he would tell us about payola, where he was a DJ back in the 50s. He got paid to play like Elvis, and we were fascinated. And that was the whole class. We all got an A.
That's awesome.
What was the easiest class? Throw that on 312-591-8300. Text in the easiest class you ever had, high school or college. Whatever you did.
Yeah, there was no easy class in high school. I was an idiot in high school, but college was pretty easy.
That's the thing. In high school, you couldn't choose.
No.
You had to do that.
I had to take science classes. That's impossible.
Well, it's not.
I don't understand cells.
I don't know. I'm not sure what you do understand now. Every time we have a conversation. You don't understand cells?
No.
You're made of them.
Exactly. What does that mean?
I don't have time right now to get in that. Because we have more important stats, like the MLB stadium distance to the nearest Olive Garden.
That's right.
In a ranking. Now, I'll just give you, we'll do Wrigley and we'll do the Sox, but number one is where the Braves play.
Wow.
They are 0.5 miles away from an Olive Garden, so I'm guessing it could even be attached to the stadium. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of the distance of the length of the stadium. Could be a half mile.
Let me put a scenario in your head, and I fully believe Chicago's the greatest city on earth, but let me make an argument for Atlanta real quick.
Right.
The Braves have a day game. All right, so let's say 1 o'clock first pitch.
Okay.
Just live with me for a second.
I'm here.
You start the day by going to Waffle House, which is huge in Atlanta. That's their spot.
Right.
I would imagine there's a Waffle House within walking distance to where the Braves play.
Sure.
You then go see the Braves, and then when you leave, you go to the Olive Garden that's less than a mile away from the stadium. That's the greatest day in history. That's what our founding fathers wanted from us.
It's one of the things they wanted for us.
Yeah.
Some things they couldn't really foresee. what the world was going to become.
Yeah.
But they could foresee a Waffle House and an Olive Garden near where they played baseball.
Yeah, of
the
course.
Braves.
George Washington loved Waffle
Sure.
House.
Okay, so that's number one. Let's get to. I'm really stunned by this. I was hoping, I really did. As a Cubs fan, I wanted the White Sox to win this one. The White Sox, guaranteed rate field, okay, is 7.66 miles from the nearest Olive Garden.
7.66 miles. Okay.
And Wrigley Field comes in at number 7 in these rankings. It's 3.16 miles from an Olive Garden.
That's half the distance of the White Sox.
I know. I really wanted the White Sox to win this one. Do you know?
God, we can't do anything right.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Okay, very exciting. We're about 120 seconds away from a song scramble. It is 3 21 Pilots songs scrambled up. You just got to call and figure out which one they are in order. Give them to me in order in the scramble, 3 of them, and then you are going, the first person through. We'll be going to 21 Pilots to the Tuesday, October 1st show from our great friends at Live Nation and Q101. Before we get there, we have to unpack a few things from sports a minute ago. We talked about the nearest location of an Olive Garden near Wrigley and White Sox, and even the Cubs winning that one. And I'm a Cubs fan. I wanted the White Sox to have this one. 7 miles away, Cubs have won 3 miles away.
Devastating.
It's very sad. Very sad day.
Indeed it is, and 224 checked in. They made a great point because yesterday we played the audio of the White Sox game getting delayed because the first base coach was nowhere to be found. And 224 brought up a great point. They said if the Sox would sack up and get an Olive Garden within a reasonable distance, their first base coach could make it back in time after smashing on some breadsticks.
Hell yes. Finally, people are speaking some sense here.
If they would only sack up and get an Olive Garden near them.
Can you imagine if there was an Olive Garden in the new stadium that Reinsdorf wants to build?
That's a great point, Brian. A sit-down restaurant, like it's an airport.
I mean, make it the same way an Olive Garden looks as a standalone building. Put it inside somehow in the stadium.
It's the team store and then the Olive Garden next to it.
I'm not talking about a pop-up. I'm talking about the whole restaurant.
The real deal. With the balcony that Kenzie wants to sit in.
Yes, the flowers, and I want the waiters coming out, like with the white outfits they have.
Yeah, where the Bucks play in Milwaukee, where they play basketball, which Fall Out Boy was at last night. We had a bunch of listeners there. They have a Chick-fil-A in that building. Oh. So I went to a Bucks playoff game a few years ago, and I was eating a chicken sandwich while I was watching Giannis dunk on people. It was incredible.
How about that?
I know. I live a good life.
Well, what a world. How can we complain about anything?
Exactly. Well, it is snowing outside. It sucks.
Well, also, we got into Caitlin Clark from Iowa. Listen, I love her. I've watched women's college basketball every game she's played this year. She is a phenomenon. They talk about generational players, and they overuse that term. She is it. However, I just can't believe she's going to class anymore.
Brian's argument was she should stay in college for another year, collect all that NIL money, and make bank because she might make more in college than in the WNBA.
She absolutely will.
I said it's time for her to go to the draft because she shouldn't have to take European history next year. She still has to go to class after all.
So it led to a conversation of the easiest class you ever had. And boy, there are some easy ones out there that I couldn't have imagined. I went to Bowling Green State University, and I talked about a class where a professor just talked about getting paid coke to play. He got paid cocaine to play Elvis on the radio.
I didn't know it was cocaine.
Oh, absolutely. He told us this in class. And that was illegal. It's still illegal, by the way. We don't get coke to play 21 Pilots. I'm just telling you that.
No, we do that for fun.
Yeah. I mean, some Red Bulls would be nice. I don't, I can't do that. Can't do that. People said there was a wine tasting class at DePaul.
At DePaul, yeah. What a genius idea for college students.
Also, I have to bring this one up here. Debbie from Chicago. She went to U of I. She said she took a numeracy class.
What is that, numeracy?
That was her required math class. I want to finish her text before I tell you what it is. She said most of the people in the class were the football players.
Okay.
I don't even remember what we learned. I ended up getting a C, she said. And she definitely was not a college football player. I Googled numeracy, the ability to understand and work with numbers.
And she got a C?
Yeah, she doesn't remember what the class was about. I mean, except
Debbie,
for
come on.
like what they did in the class, but working with numbers was one.
Oh my God. 313 checked in from Michigan. They said, my easiest classes in college were either moving for fitness or downhill skiing.
You're paying thousands of dollars for these classes?
Hey, you're going into debt for taking a skiing class?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness. Also, Ryan from Frankfurt checked in. He had a golf class. He had 2 hours free before the first class, so he would get hammered and then show up and hit some balls. That's good living right there.
Here's one more for you. Your alma mater. There was a human sexuality class at Columbia.
Yeah.
The teacher was a former ordained minister.
I did not know that. That's fun.
All right, let's get to the song scramble and get you in the 21 Pilots. 312-591-8300. First person through that can figure out these three songs in order is going to the show. Ooh. Anybody got it? Here it is one more time. Maybe you weren't ready. Here we go. 312-591-8300. First person through to give me those three songs in order of that song scramble is going to 21 Pilots. Okay, fine. One more time. Here we go.
'The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And a song scramble for 21 Pilots tickets to the Q101 show at the United Center. There's two of them, October 1st and October 2nd on Tuesday and Wednesdays. We have tickets today for the Tuesday, October 1st show from our great friends at Live Nation and Q101. Can you figure out what songs are in this? Wow, 312-591-8300. We have Dean checking in from Waukegan. Dean, ahoy. How you doing, buddy?
Ahoy.
All right, can you give it to me? Go.
It is Stressed Out, Level of Concern, and Heathen.
What the heck?
Wish we could turn back time. Level of concern. All my friends are heathens, take it slow.
Congratulations, Dean.
Yes, I knew it.
You're right. You're going to see 21 Pilots. Now, I'm going to ask you the same question yesterday. We had a girl that had seen them 75 times. How many times have you seen 21 Pilots?
This will be number 5.
Okay, good. I like that. Still a newbie in the terms of the 21 Pilots cult.
Yeah, I would have saw them when they first came to Chicago in 2018. I lost the tickets, but I did see them in Lollapalooza and the United Center.
What do you
and
mean?
up in Milwaukee.
Yeah, they of course 2019 they were Twisted, but what do you mean you lost the tickets?
Well, I bought the tickets, and then I found better tickets on Twitter, and so I sold the first set, and it turns out the second set was a scam.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yep.
See, this is proof right here. This is very nice. That karma exists
Yep.
because you waited 6 years for redemption, and now you got it. Free tickets to 21 Pilots to the United Center. And you thought at that time, I'm sure you were devastated.
I was. It was like I had gotten shot.
Well, probably not that bad.
I guess it depends on how much you like 21 Pilots.
All right, man. Congratulations. You are going, okay?
Okay.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Remember, coming up, we'll have Clash with Kenzie at 8:10. We'll get you on the phones for Bonnaroo tickets and a camping pass as well. I just want to go camping. And I'd love to go see all those bands. I mean, you got the Chili Peppers in there, among others, about the other 100 bands at Bonnaroo.
Cage the Elephant, too.
Yeah, Cage. I mean, it's
Interpol, one of my favorite bands.
I had a great Interpol T-shirt. Mm-hmm. It was one of those T-shirts, like, I like them. I don't love them, like, they're my favorite band. But the shirt fit me perfect. I looked so good in that Interpol shirt.
We've all got one of those shirts.
Oh.
I've got a Santa Cruz skateboard shirt that just, it blesses my body every time I put it on.
I got 7 years out of that shirt before it fell apart.
Oh, isn't that nice?
I wish I still had it now. It's kind of sad.
Anyways,
that's coming up at 8:10 in Clash with Kenzie. Now time for Head to Headlines, where you choose the content that we talk about. So we give you 2 headlines. Based on the headline alone, you choose what you want to hear more about, what you want to hear us chop up. But remember, the other story we'll never talk about again, ever. No matter how much you beg, plead, we won't do it. So you decide by texting 312-591-8300, headline number 1 or headline number 2. Here is headline number 1. Pair out for a walk, struck by crashing plane in Delaware County.
wait. A pair, like a couple?
A couple were out for a walk. Now, I'll just verify a little bit because of our Indiana people. It's in Muncie, Indiana, Delaware County.
Oh, no, there shouldn't be planes in that area.
Why not?
Not a lot of, there's not an aviation school in Muncie, I don't think.
Case grew up in Fishers, Indiana, nearby.
But I know all about Muncie. I used to work at that mall.
You had a lid? You were the manager of the lids there?
I wish I was the manager of the lids. I was an employee at the Squeeze Play, which was a local business that was like a lids, but called Squeeze Play instead.
Did they ever make it to Chicago Squeeze Plays?
Believe it or not, they didn't.
Okay.
Nope, Anderson, Indiana, and Muncie, Indiana.
Okay. So, pair out for a walk, struck by crashing plane in Delaware County. That's headline number one. If you want to hear more about that story, text that in right now. But wait till you hear the second story. Headline number two. Quote, I just divorced my wife. Man charged with firing celebratory shots in downtown Nashville.
Respect.
There's quotes around celebratory, too. So, quote, I just divorced my wife. Man charged with firing celebratory shots and not drinking shots. He fired his gun in downtown Nashville.
Everything's a crime nowadays. Can't even shoot a gun when you get divorced.
Can't even celebrate. So, based on those headlines alone, 312-591-8300. Which story do you want to hear more about? Text in now.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Listen, it's 7:52 with Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and I am thankful you are here today because you're witnessing history in the show. It's had the headlines. We gave you two headlines. You decide which one we talk about by texting in headline number one or headline number two. For the first time in the history of this bit, it's a dead tie.
I've never seen anything like it.
1,100 texts in the last 15 minutes. Headline one, headline two. There is a small, we put like a, plus minus error ratio in the poll.
It's just like TV ratings.
Yeah, like plus or minus 3%. But it is a dead tie. In Chicago, it would be a runoff.
I'm sweating trying to count them all.
Yeah, but we're stopping the counting. And
Stop the count. Stop the
Stop
steal.
the count. Stop the hanging chads. Okay, we're gonna break our own rule once. We're never gonna do this again. I promise. Even though I say we'll never read the other story again, we are gonna chop up both stories.
It's the only thing to do because not only are people voting, but now we're getting paragraph-long texts about why we should choose headline one or headline number two.
I've never seen this before.
We've got people that desperately want to hear about a couple that got hit by a plane.
Yep.
We've got people that desperately want to hear about this divorce story because they're rooting for our recently divorced listeners.
A lot of them out there. Even the women rooting for the hear about the divorced man guy who shot the gun in the air to celebrate.
Yeah.
So
that could be them in the future.
That's right. So we're gonna do both. Never done it before. And I really mean, we'll never do it again. You're lucky you're here today.
This is a special day. It's like when we put a man on the moon.
It's just like that.
It's the same amount of gravitas.
So here we go. Let's just go in order then. Headline number one, pair out for a walk struck by crashing plane in Delaware County. A lot of the Indiana contingent, by the way, the 219ers checked in huge.
Yes, absolutely.
Wanted to hear, even though it was in Muncie, Indiana, they still want to hear about their brethren in the southern part of the state.
That's the thing is that as somebody from Indiana, and I'm not from Muncie, and I need to make that clear because there's a stigma that comes with that. I'm not from Muncie.
I want to see your driver's license.
But it's kind of one of those things in Indiana. Like you hear in either Anderson or Muncie that something went down, you want to hear about it. That's Indiana's equivalent of Florida. It's like, oh, Muncie man arrested for what now? Oh, that makes sense.
Well, here we go. This happened in Muncie, Indiana. Pair out for a walk struck by crashing plane in Delaware County. 2 people and a pilot have been rushed to the hospital after a plane crashed into a walking path near the Delaware County Regional Airport in Muncie.
Is this a Boeing scandal?
No, it's a private plane.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Boeing makes small planes.
Well, I don't know how big the plane is.
It was a private plane. Maybe I didn't get there yet. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. According to the Delaware County Sheriff's Department, 2 of the victims were out walking on the Cardinal Greenway, which sounds like a delightful place. It sounds like, they're inside. Let's get outside. It's finally nice outside. Let's go for a walk on the Cardinal Greenway.
That sounds so peaceful.
Oh.
And it makes sense. Muncie, Ball State University's there. Ball State's the Cardinals.
Right.
Oh, the Cardinal Greenway has to be lovely.
Here's the problem with the Cardinal Greenway.
Well, there was a plane on it.
Well, geography. It's a walking trail located near the Muncie Airport. I'm sure it was nice to see little planes go off because it's not a big airport. It's not like O'Hare or Midway where there's big planes going in there.
No, it's not.
It was a private plane, fell out of the sky and crashed on them.
Wait, like a Looney Tunes cartoon? What do you mean it fell on them? Think about that.
Is it Acme Plane Company?
What the hell?
All right. So the chief deputy, Jeff Stanley, said it's unclear if the pedestrians were struck, by the falling plane or by the debris as the plane collided into the tree line surrounding the walking path. So it's not 100% sure that the plane just landed on them fully.
The visual of plane just coming down.
These poor people. These poor people.
Oh, it sucks.
Stanley said, quote, "That's a bad day." Now I know why he won the election for deputy sheriff.
No kidding. That's a man of the people right there.
He said, quote, "They're out doing some exercise, going for a walk, and next thing you know, they're being struck by a plane."
Oh, I hate when that happens.
This guy should run for mayor. Listen to what he says next. "It's very unfortunate. We're praying for the best of everyone involved." We are too, by the way.
We are, absolutely.
We're laughing at the situation, not the poor people that a plane landed on.
No,
them.
that sucks.
That's
It's very
terrible.
unfortunate.
They're just out there, and it's a bad day.
It's so nice to have somebody in government, whether it be police or politicians or whatever, that tells it like it is.
That's right.
That doesn't pull any punches. This was unfortunate. This was a bad day.
I don't know if you have relatives in Muncie, but vote for Jeff Stanley again.
He's a good man.
Next time he runs. Investigators said the small plane crashed near the intersection of Riggin Road and Schaefer Road in Delaware County. A trailhead for the Cardinal Greenway is located at this intersection. And I have a picture here on the story. It looks beautiful. It's really peaceful and nice. Both the pilot and the two pedestrians were rushed to the IU Ball Memorial Hospital.
Okay.
Indiana University, I guess, at Ball State, or is it Ball State?
I don't know. I'm sure it's one of the two.
I think Indiana has a remote campus there.
I don't know. I know they got one in Kokomo. That doesn't really do us anything, though.
The sheriff's department did not have the status of their injuries. A plane fell on them. And they don't have the status of the injuries.
You would think at the very least it would be bad.
Yeah. There's more to the story, by the way.
Oh, my God, there's more?
A little bit more. The city of Muncie previously reported that 3 injured people were thought to be in critical condition, however. Delaware County Regional Airport manager Tim Beatty said the crash occurred around 10:26 a.m. and involved a single-engine Piper aircraft that crashed while en route to the Muncie airport. The FAA is heading to the scene. They weren't there yet.
No,
they're on their way. Yeah, they're on their way to assist the Delaware County Sheriff's Department in investigating the crash. Stanley said several people witnessed the crash, and a Ring doorbell camera may have captured the footage.
Oh, my God, we need that footage.
We must have a lawyer that works in the company, right?
In our company?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a few.
Yeah. Why can't we... We need to get that footage.
Wait, do we need a lawyer for that?
Because I think it's going to take some red tape to get that footage.
Okay.
Unless someone knows somebody there that is the Ring camera holder and can get us that footage.
Can you imagine having that on your Ring doorbell, the power you would have in the city of Muncie right now?
I'm willing to go a very Shark Tank in this.
Yes.
I'm willing to go as high for our listeners, $800 for that footage.
That's a good deal.
My own personal money.
Yeah.
$800.
And you don't have a lot of money.
Not right now with daycare and everything.
No, it's going to put you in the hole.
No, that's going to hurt. It's going to be bologna sandwiches for a month.
I have a question.
Yeah.
About the logistics of the plane crash. They said that the plane hit a tree. Am I correct in saying that?
They're not 100% sure if it just the plane landed on them or debris from the plane.
Okay. Because what I'm afraid happened is that the plane hit the tree and then slowly fell out of the tree, and the people just happened to walk underneath a falling plane.
It's a bad day.
It's a bad day. It's very unfortunate.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Again, a historic day here with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We're going to do the story we said we would not talk about. I just divorced my wife. Man charged with firing celebratory shots in downtown Nashville. We're doing both stories today only. Don't ever ask for it again. We're giving it to you. Right here with Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.